Hi again, today we're going to be making the mixed berry pavlova stack. If you haven't made this one yet, it's found in the Festive Flavours collection, and it can also be found in Cookie Dough. I love this, it presents really well and just looks really colourful and bright, especially at Christmas time on your table. It's not Christmas now, but it's one of my husband's favourites, so we are going to be making it for him. So let's start cooking. Okay. So for this you can use either fresh or frozen raspberries. I've got frozen, so we'll just make sure our weight's 10, and we're going to make the raspberry coulis. So we're going to put in 200 grams. Okay, so the 200 grams of berries have gone in. Next we're going to add 100 grams of caster sugar. Next we're going to add 20 grams of lemon juice, which I've already squeezed. Next we're going to insert the measuring cup into the lid, pop that on to the bowl. And next we're going to cook this for 4 minutes at 90 degrees on speed 4. So you're not standing on the stove dissolving, it's just doing it all on its own. Okay, so this is finished. We're going to transfer this to a bowl and just cover it and set it aside. You see that beautiful colour there? And this is going to be spooned over our pavlova, but if you make it, you can put it on your ice cream, your yogurt. It's just really nice addition to any dish. Okay, you can see how beautiful that colour is. So we're going to pop this aside, and this will go into the fridge, and then we will come back to use that when it's time to assemble our beautiful pavlova. Okay, I've got a clean mixing bowl, and now we're going to move on to make our pavlova. Step, I'm preheating my oven at the moment, it's on 150 degrees. Next step is to line our trays. I've already cut my baking paper and I've already traced the circle. It asks for 20 centimetres, approximately 20 centimetres. So what I've done is just used my lid and traced that circle out, and that's going to act as a guide for when we actually put our pavlova onto that before it goes into the oven. So I'll set that aside. Next we're going to move on to making our pavlova. Okay, so I need 200 grams of white sugar, which goes in there. Next we're going to insert the measuring cup into the lid, place that on there. Next we're going to mill this for 15 seconds on speed 9. Okay, next we're going to transfer this into a bowl and set aside. Okay, we've milled our sugar, it's now icing sugar. I'm just going to pop that in the bowl. Okay, so my bowl's thoroughly clean. Just remember, always make sure you do a vinegar wash before you start, otherwise they just won't whip and you will not get a pavlova at the end of it. Okay, so that includes putting your butterfly through the vinegar wash as well. Okay, next we're going to insert our butterfly just over the blades like that. We're going to go next, we're going to add 250 grams of egg whites, which is approximately 8 eggs. So we're going to pop those in there. And I've actually had these egg whites in the freezer. Some recipe just call for yolks, and I used to just throw them away. But you can freeze them, so I've started freezing them, and I've just pulled the egg whites out of the freezer. They have to come to room temperature before you can actually make your pavlova. Same with if you're using fresh eggs, they do need to be at room temperature. Okay, next we're going to add a pinch of cream of tartar. A pinch in there. I'm going to go next. So without the measuring cup now, we'll take that out, put that on there. We're going to go next, we're going to do this, cook this for 5 minutes at 37 degrees on speed 3.5. Okay, so our meringue is looking beautiful. So still with the butterfly in place, we're now going to do this for another 5 minutes at 37 degrees on speed 3. Okay, so while this is on, we're going to slowly add the reserved sugar through the hole, 1 spoon at a time until it's well combined. So just a spoonful at a time. I'm just going to pop that in there. I remember doing this in my food processor, and when I would get to this stage, there'd be icing sugar going everywhere. So I just love that with the Thermomix, there's no mess, apart from the mess that I make. Glossy, and that's what you want for a good pavlova. You want to see a great gloss to it. Okay, so next, with the butterfly whisk still in place, for 40 seconds we're going to mix this on speed 3, and while it's doing that we're going to add our corn flour, our vinegar and our vanilla essence. So on speed 3. So add 1 teaspoon of vanilla, 1 teaspoon of vinegar, and then our 2 tablespoons of corn flour. Okay, so next we're going to remove our butterfly. You can see how much that has come up. It's looking beautiful, glossy. We're going to remove our butterfly just by wiggling it around. We don't want to muck around with it too much because we don't want to let the air come out of it. So I'll just pop that aside on my plate. Now, the real test for a good meringue is to hold it over your head. If it doesn't fall out, it is absolutely perfect. So we're going to give that a go now. If it doesn't work, it's going to make for a great blooper. Are you ready? Okay. I'm scared. No, I'm not. I have faith in my Thermomix. So you can see that I'm holding my meringue above my head and it's not falling, it's not moving, it's not budging. So we have a perfect meringue right there for you. Phew. Next, we're going to spoon the mixture onto our traced tin. So I'm going to go on to do that. Okay, so I've got my trays ready. Now what you do is just grab a little bit of your meringue and just pop it on your tray. So that way when you are working with your meringue, your baking paper is not going to slide around everywhere. So just a bit on the back and that will just hold it in place. Okay, so now we'll grab half the mixture. It's looking beautiful. Pop half on there. We'll get the other half on the other tray. Put that aside. You can see you get quite a good amount as well. People are always worried in saying that the bowl is too small, but it's very deceiving. It has a 2.2 litre capacity, so you do get quite a bit out of it. Okay, so we've got that out. So now we'll just work this. So generally I just flatten it, just spread it out to fill my circle, and it will spread a little bit in the oven, which is fine. This will act as one of our discs. You can get really fancy if you want to. As long as it's pretty much even, I'm happy. And then I'll just smooth it out with my little spatula. Okay, so what I'll do is I've got a little cake decorating spatula. Put that in there. I generally just run that around the outside. Smooth it out, make sure we've got a circle because they're going to sit on top of each other. Filled with a beautiful berry cream and the coulis. Okay, so that one's done. This one's done as well, and we're going to pop those in the oven. Smooth it out. Make sure it's even. Okay, so there are our 2 meringues ready to go into the oven. So if we go next, we're going to bake these for 10 minutes at 150 degrees, and then we're going to drop the temperature to 120 and bake it for an hour. And then with your meringues, I like to leave them to cool in the oven overnight with the door completely shut, and that will prevent your meringue from cracking as well. So I'm going to pop those in the oven. I'm going to set my timer for 10 minutes and then drop the temperature. Then we will move on to make our berry cream. Okay, so the next step now is our berry cream. So we're going to add 600 grams of cream. Make sure the weight is tiered. Pop that all in there like that. Okay, so our cream's in. We're going to make sure that our butterfly whisk is in place. Then we're going to insert the measuring cup into the lid, which it is. Next, we're going to turn the speed selector to 3.5, and we'll just do it for 2 minutes and see what our consistency of the cream is like. Just remember that when you're whipping cream, depending on how old or how fresh the cream is, will depend on how long it will take to thicken. So we'll just do it for 150 for now, and we'll do it at 3.5 and see how we go. Okay, so when you're whipping cream, you can have a look inside and you can see at what thickness and what stage the cream is at. So I actually stopped that, it was at 40 seconds. So you can see the consistency there of our cream. Okay. I'm going to go next. We're going to remove the whisk. We go next, we're going to add 20 grams of frozen or fresh raspberries that are thawed. They're already thawed. So we'll pop those in there. Next, we're going to insert the measuring cup into our lid. And we'll just get a nice rippled effect with the berries through that. Okay, 10 seconds on speed 2. Okay, almost there. That's it. We're going to go next. Now we're not going to assemble yet. We're going to put this all aside, and tomorrow I'll come back and show you how to assemble this all. So I'm just going to pour this in here. You can see the ripple of the raspberries through that cream. Okay, so you can see our rippled effect. Don't want to mix it through too much. Okay, so I'm going to sit all this in the fridge. Our meringues will bake, they'll stay in the oven overnight, and I'll be back tomorrow morning and show you how to assemble. So, I'm back. These were baked yesterday, and I left them in the oven overnight with the door shut, and that's the best way to do it. I can't stress enough to keep your pavlovas in the oven overnight so that they dry out really nicely. Okay, so we've got our 2 discs. I'm going to transfer them onto my plate. So lift it off and pop it on there. Okay, it smells great. First thing I'm going to put on is our berry cream, which we whipped up yesterday. So I'm just going to give it a little bit of a mix and just spoon dollops of that on top. And just spread that out over the base. Put a little bit more on there. Okay, so the cream's on. Next, I've just got some berries, some fresh berries. I've got some beautiful raspberries, some strawberries, and some blueberries. So the next thing is just to scatter some of our fresh berries over the top. Next, we've got our raspberry coulis, which we made yesterday. You can see how beautiful and lush that is. And just the colour is just vibrant. Okay, so I'm just going to drizzle that over the top. I don't care if it spills to the side. Beautiful. Next, we're going to lift off our second disc. We're going to place that on the top like that. And we're just going to repeat what we did. So again, we're going to finish off with the cream on the top. And this is a great dish. You can bake your pavlova discs, have your cream whipped, have your strawberries, your berries washed and ready to go, your coulis done, and you can bring it over and assemble it wherever you're going. So if you're bringing something over to someone's house for dinner or just for afternoon tea, you can assemble it on the spot. All the hard work's been done before, and it's so nice. So just spread the rest of the cream over the top. We're just going to put some more coulis, let it drip down the sides. So we'll bring it all together. And it just brings it all together beautifully. And just like that, that's our completed pavlova. I think it looks pretty amazing, but even more so, it tastes amazing. So if you haven't checked this recipe out yet, it is found on Cookie Do. If you're not subscribing to Cookie Do yet, I would suggest you do, because you're missing out on some wonderful recipes. It's in the Festive Flavours collection. So there you go. So now to slice up this beautiful berry stacked pavlova, we'll see how it goes. And we're just cutting through those lovely layers of meringue. sliced our beautiful pavlova. You can see the lovely layers of pavlova. You can see the beautiful fresh fruit, some cream through it, the beautiful coulis. All that's needed now is a bit of a taste test. So here we go. You cannot compare homemade to store-bought. It's so light and fluffy. You've just got that crunch on the outside of your pavlova and that beautiful marshmallow inside. The coulis just brings it together. It's nice and sweet, and just the fresh berries. So I'm sure my family's going to devour this tonight. Enjoy.